And welcome back. This video we're going to be looking at sketching inequalities. Last video we talked about solving them. This one we're going to be sketching them. Now, if you're good at sketching linear graphs, you'll have no problems doing this, I don't think. Okay, so sketching inequalities. The steps to sketching inequalities is to first sketch the, I'll just say in quotations mark, the equality. Okay, sketch the graph, the linear graph. Okay, the second sort of thing to remember, if it's greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, so if it contains the equal to, then it will be a solid line. Solid line. If it's greater than or less than, in other words, if it doesn't contain an equals, then you'll be doing a dotted line. Dotted line. Okay, good. So that's the first part. Second part is choose a test point xy and choose a test point somewhere on the graph. If it's true, if the inequality is true, then shade that side in. Okay, we're going to shade that side. If it's false, shade the other side. Other side in. Okay, so this makes no sense to you yet, unless you've already done this, but what we're doing, sketch the equality, sketch the linear graph. If it's got an equals in it, make it a solid line. If it doesn't have an equals in it, make it just a dotted line. We're going to be choosing a point from either side of the line to test which side of the line is going to be true. And if it is true, then we're going to shade that side in. If it's false, we're going to shade the other side in. It won't make any sense until I've done an example. So let's go straight into an example. Okay, example, sketch y is greater than, I'm doing the classic 2x minus 1. Okay, how to sketch this? Firstly, what we want to do is sketch the equality y equals 2x minus 1. What does that look like? So can you see what I've done? That's y greater than 2x minus 1. But firstly, we just want to sketch y equals 2x minus 1 to see what that looks like. Alright, so, sorry guys, that was really bad. That's not heaps better, but at least it's not terrible. So let's have a look at this. Y is equal to 2x minus 1. It crosses at -1 down here, -1, and it's got a gradient of 2, so it goes up 2 and across 1. So up 2 and across 1. So it's going to be there, that's going to go up through there. Now, is it a dotted line or is it a solid line? Now, it doesn't have an equals in here, it's just y greater than, so it's going to be a dotted line. And so the graph will go up like that in a dotted line through that graph. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. All I've done is sketch y equals 2x minus 1. Because it's not equal to up here, I've just done the dotted line. Now, this inequality here has many solutions. Let me just try and think of one. Okay, let's say when x is equal to 0, y, so we've got -1. Let's say y is equal to 10. That is a solution to this inequality. This is saying that 10 is greater than 2 times 0 minus 1, so -1. 10 is greater than -1. 10, of course 10 is greater than -1. So that point on this graph will be true. So you could colour in that point. So what was it? X equals 0, y is equal to 10. Up here we could colour that point and that would be true. Can you find another point where this would be true? How about x equals 0, y is equal to 1? If x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 1, is this true or false? We've got 1 is greater than 0 minus 1, so is 1 greater than -1? Is that true? Yes, it is. So this point here, that is true as well. In fact, the entire one side of this line will be true. Any point you pick here will be true. Any point you pick on the other side will not be true. And so what you need to do is to find which side to colour in. It'll be either this side or this side. That is true. So we're just going to choose a test point. And the best test point that you can always choose, unless it goes through the origin, is the origin. So choose that origin there, choose a test point. Okay. If it is true, then you colour all of the same side as what the test point is on. If it's not, you choose the other side. Okay, so let's do that. Let's choose the origin, 0, 0. Now, at 0, 0, x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0. Let's put it into this inequality and see if it's true or not. So therefore, 0 is greater than 2 times 0, 2 times 0 minus 1. Let's just clean it up. 0 is greater than 2 times 0 minus 1 is just negative 1. Is 0 greater than negative 1? Yes, it is. If you think about your number line, there's 0, there's negative 1. 0 is bigger. It's to the right of it. So 0 is bigger. This is true. True. Now, because that test point is to the, I guess, this side of the line, it means we want to colour this side in. So basically, we shade this entire side of the line in like that. Okay, so this is actually the sketch of this inequation here. Any point that you pick on this shaded sign, any coordinate pair, x equals, y equals, will satisfy this. If you come over to this side of the line, then it does not satisfy it. Let's choose one. Let's go x equals 5 and y is equal to 0. Let's just choose that. X equals 5 and y is equal to 0. Let's see what happens. Let's put it in. Y, so 0 is greater than 2 times x, so 10 minus 1. 0 is greater than 9. Is this true or false? 0 greater than 9. It's false. It does not make sense. So this point is not part of the graph, and so this side is. That is the sketch of the of that inequality up there. Okay, let's do another example. 2x minus 3y is less than or equal to 6. Okay, let's have a look at this. How do we sketch this? Firstly, let's have a look at the equality. What would it look like if it was equals? Tried to make that blue, it did not bluify. 2x minus 3y equals 6. I'm going to use the x and y intercepts methods here. So the x-intercept is when y is equal to 0, so that's equal to 0. 2x equals 6, x equals 3. Y-intercept happens when x is equal to 0, so if that's equal to 0, we get negative 3y equals 6. So y equals 6 divided by negative 3, negative 2. Let's sketch it. Okay, good. Now, is it a dotted line or a solid line? It contains an equals in it, so it's a solid line in this case. X-intercept is 3, y-intercept is negative 2, and so the equation, a thick line, it's going to go through like that. Alright, so there's our line. The only last part to figure out is whether it's shaded in this side or shaded in this side. They're called half planes. It's half of a plane. Which side is true? Let's take a test point. What will my test point be? Well, the easiest test point you'll ever do is 0, 0. Let's check it. So this is our point here. Will it be true or false? If it's true, I'm going to shade in this side. If it's false, I'm not going to shade in this side, I'm going to shade in this side here. Okay, so let's have a look at it. 0, 0. So we've got 2 times 0 minus 3 times 0 is less than or equal to 6. 2 times 0 is 0. Minus 0, 0 is less than or equal to 6. True or false? That is true. 0 is definitely less than 6. So that's true. Because it's true, this side will all be true, and so we shade in this side here. Good. I'll do one more very quick example to show you, but that's basically all there is to it. Okay, y less than half x plus 1. Okay, let's have a look at that one. How do I sketch this? I'll go straight to it. I'm just going to sketch it, just a quick one. It's not a bad axis. What does that look like? Well, it goes through 1. It's got a y-intercept of 1, and it's got a rise of 1 and a run of 2, so it goes up 1 and across 2. And it's, so I'll just draw that on there, so that's 2. It goes up 1 and across 2, so I'll go to there. It hasn't got an equals in it, so it's going to be a dotted line. So let's sketch the dotted line on here. Dotted line. Now, is it on this side up here or this side down here? Let's take a test point. Surprise, surprise. The easiest one, just because it's zeros and it makes everything really, really simple. Let's do a test point 0, 0 and sub it into this and see whether it's true or false. 0 is less than half times 0 plus 1. 0 is less than half times 0 is 0, less than 1. True or false? Yeah, I tried really hard that time to choose one get one that would be false. I should have done half x minus 1. I'm an idiot. I really should just give up my day job. So 0, that's true. Sorry, I tried to choose one which is false. It is on this side. Because it's on this side and it's true, everything on this side will be true, so we shade in that side of the graph. Sorry about that poor example. I tried to pick one. If it was y less than half x minus 1, that would have been a bit more interesting, because when you take your test point, you'll get 0 is greater than 1. No, you won't. You'll get 0 less than negative 1. So if it had been this one, I'll just sort of do an aside here. Y is less than or equal to that. You get 0 is less than negative 1. 0 is less than negative 1. There's 0, there's negative 1. Is 0 less than negative 1? No, that is false. Okay, that would be false. And so instead of, I'll just do it quickly. Y is less than half x minus 1. So what will it look like? It crosses at negative 1 down here, and half x, so it sort of goes up like that. Let's make it equal to, because I've just done a solid line. Looking like that, you choose your test point there, and you get your test point will say 0 is less than or equal to 0 minus 1, so 0 is less than negative 1. This is false. Because your test point is false, then you don't shade in the same side as the test point. You shade in the other side from the test point, so you shade in this side down here, and that would be what that inequality looks like. Enjoy.